talked about Leicester. So my fear is that it's going to be another, all of a sudden, start all over again. And if that's the case, I don't know how it's going to pan out for them. So that's my
excellent.
Especially with the players.
Thank you. Especially with the players. He was an incredible manager of the players. So once he could attract any player in the world, he could retain any player in the world. So in his absence, I think that Chelsea fans have struggled with their identity. People that joined the club started supporting the club because of their success.
Yeah,
used to fire.
They don't know where to go with it anymore.
Firing, yeah. So they've never experienced what it means to be in a valley and giving a coach time, giving management time to navigate and come up. So that's the thing. So I hear a lot of them saying, "Fire, we know how we are. We don't take."
Chelsea again. Chelsea. Last season, there were so many questions about Poch. What was he doing at Chelsea? What was he trying to do? His body language. So many questions. Chelsea fans couldn't just understand what was going on. There was too many questions every week. He came up with different ways to play, and he wasn't working out. The only good thing about Chelsea last season was just Cole Palmer. But all of a sudden, 5 games or 6 games to go after they lost 5-0 to Arsenal, it looked like the team sprung up. Just like how what they did when remember when Arteta beat Conte as well, 3-0 at the Emirates, and he switched formation, and that was it. Okay, and Emery, and they went ahead to win the league. So
yes.
The same thing happened. And they lost 5-0 to Arsenal. And the next thing, they became unbeaten. They won 5 straight games at the end of the season. It looked like, the Poch project has finally taken off. You would expect that this summer, they probably give him some of the tools that he's going to request for and make the team stronger and then go again next season. But all of a sudden, we all wake up and Poch is gone. I don't know how you received that news when you heard it.
It was a big surprise to me. I thought Poch had earned the right to be given more time with the way the team finished, the way they played and the number of goals they scored and how free-flowing they were. Earlier in the season, actually, I saw a few Chelsea games and I was quite impressed with their build-up play, combination play. The only problem was that
it couldn't finish.
In the 18-yard box, they were just helpless. It was crazy, especially with Jackson. We saw that. And then suddenly it clicked for Jackson. He started scoring goals. Probably that coincided with Enzo not being available, but getting injured, as they seem to. The combination of Caicedo and
Enzo and Gallagher.
Yeah, and Gallagher became a better combination for them. As a springboard for Cole Palmer to play in that free role at the edge of the 18 behind Jackson. So it worked pretty well. And I thought, I was looking forward to seeing Chelsea next season, seeing what Pochettino had done. And I imagined that they would be a lot more dangerous. So I was very surprised to see them fire Pochettino. However, I waited to see who they will hire. I think they made a very good choice in Enzo Maresca. The reason I say that is that, again, he comes from the Pep Guardiola school, which has proven through Arteta to be a good option to take. I've also seen, I saw a lot of Leicester City games because, of course, I have my boys there. Yes, I saw a lot of their games. Most of their games are always on ESPN Plus. So I noticed that they played free-flowing football. He actually turned Ndidi from a defensive central midfielder to more of an attacking.
Yeah, I was saying he was very progressive.
Yes, and scored quite a few goals.
Yeah, just like what Arteta was doing with Jorginho at the beginning of the season. That he was playing almost like an 8, and the rest was behind him.
Yes. So that's why I thought, okay, this coach, knows what he's doing. The only issue that I had was defensively. I couldn't see a proper structure for Leicester City. Um, Maybe that's attributable to the fact that he didn't have major options. They lost Evans. Evans went back to United, who was their best defender, most dependable defender.
Yeah, I remember.
And they had two other guys. They had this a very tall Danish player. I've forgotten what his name, Va something. I've forgotten his full name. That had really poor ball retention skills, but had the height and all that. He used to play for Southampton, I believe, or one of these clubs.
And I think they lost this guy too. That Konku, what's his name? The Arsenal wanted to sign that guy before he went to Leicester.
Yes. I know the guy. The guy. He ended up in Spain. I think with either Villarreal or Sevilla. I've forgotten one of these clubs he went to. So they also lost. What's his name? Of course, Fofana had left them a long time ago. They lost the Ghanaian defensive mid.
Okay. What's his name?
I think black dude. Yes, through injury as well. So they had issues defensively. When they started losing games, they had dominated for the first part of the season. Then they started losing games, and it was a free-for-all fall up until they managed. Unfortunately for them, they had built a really good
gap.
Yes, that they had to come back and start. So that would be the concern for Chelsea fans. How is he going to integrate his style of play and the way he wants to play and the structure of the team, in Chelsea? How fast enough can he do that? But as for the guy's persona as a coach, I like him. As for his style of football, I like him. I didn't see any of his press conferences to know how he came across, but I noticed that quite a few Leicester fans just did not buy into him. He had a few people opposing him while he was the Leicester coach, but majority of the fans liked him. So I think out of all the people that were linked to Chelsea, I thought this was a very smart choice. And I think that from everything I've heard, they're willing to give him time, for a change.
Yeah, we hear that with Chelsea all the time. They say we'll give time. When it really comes to really back their talk with action, then different thing happens. Just like you, when Poch was let go, I couldn't understand it. But I mean, like somebody said, football, they own the club, they own the reason why. The only thing I can imagine that would have happened would have been personal disagreement. We have had it on this podcast so many times. It looks like Poch didn't really have big say in who was signed and who was let go. Apparently, he started asking questions about that. It looked like in the beginning of the season, he didn't look like somebody that was interested in what was going on. He just was okay with however he went. I just felt that maybe all of a sudden he realized that as a coach, this is my reputation on the line. I need to get this club because even if it doesn't work at Chelsea, I need something that I can use to go somewhere else. So all of a sudden, he now decided to really give it a go. And maybe even knowing that he was going to leave because maybe they didn't really agree from the get-go. So that's the only thing I think that would have made them let him go, not by performance. I think it's more of like there has to be some managerial disagreement or philosophy or ideas or something, the way the club should go, that there were no agreements and they had to leave. But having said that, and like you said, I don't think Chelsea had a lot of choices, and they are lucky to be able to reach out to this guy and got this guy. But the thing, like you mentioned, are they willing to give him time? Because this is now a stop-start kind of stuff. Their projects, there were so many questions at the beginning of last season, and rightly so. But towards the end of the season, it looked like it was clicking. Then now, he dismantled it and wants to start again. So I don't know how he's going to start. And this guy, I don't know how he's going to come in. The core of these players that looked at the aesthetic click for Chelsea, is he going to continue with that project or is he going to bring 2 or 3 players, then kind of affect some relationships in the dressing room and in the team and try to go again. Thiago Silva most likely going to be there next season. Defensively, they have issues, just like we talked about Leicester. So my fear is that it's going to be another, all of a sudden, start all over again. And if that's the case, I don't know how it's going to pan out for them. So that's my little concern. But as for the guy, from what I've read, and Chelsea has had, some of the students have had some very good outcome with Italian coaches. So probably it might work out for them because, I mean, Sarri came there with all the noise that everybody made. Sarri succeeded. Conte, you can say what you want to say about him. It was a success. Ancelotti, he has been there back and forth. All these coaches, what's his name? Di Matteo, who wasn't even a really like renowned coach at the time, won Champions League with Chelsea, Italian as well. So he can say what you want to say. This guy is an Italian as well. So most likely it will work for them. But I don't know. Chelsea is still, for me, they have become a conundrum. I don't really know where you want to start to talk about Chelsea. They just do things out of they call them blues, but out of the blues, they just take decisions, especially these new owners. I'm beginning to think that because Abramovich got away with hiring and firing coaches, maybe he thinks that's how it works. But the way he's doing his own is different from the way Abramovich did it. And it's different when you're being original, you're being yourself. This is what you believe that works for you. And when you're compared to when you're copying somebody, because you won't have all the information that you need to make those decisions. I don't know what you think about that. And how do you think Chelsea is shaping up as a club?
I agree. I think that right now Chelsea, just like when Arsene Wenger left, when Alex Ferguson left, their successors struggled. I think that Chelsea as a club, Abramovich was the equivalent of Ferguson and Wenger to us now, right? Abramovich leaving left a big dent.
Vacuum.
A very big vacuum. He had built a culture where the fans, even the fans, were used to firing coaches after a few games, every a few months, weeks. Once a coach starts to lose games, you hear Chelsea fans wanting the person fired because that was the way that was the culture. Exactly. Yes, and that culture worked for them for several reasons. Several reasons being that, number one, that Abramovich, for all his hiring and firing, had some of the
solid footballing people, in the board,
in the setup. Yeah, the likes of Mike Emenalo, and the rest of them, even that lady
Maria, or so whatever they call her.
Maria, yeah. So that's number one. Number two was that he had money to spend, and he spent the money. From their youth setup, Chelsea had 1,001 of the best young players in the continent and in the world being there in their youth setup from 15, 16, 17. So they had a steady supply of players that they could send out on loan, that they could sell and all that. So he covered them from all sides, right? Then one underrated part of Abramovich was his man management as well. Abramovich was an excellent...
Especially with the players.
Thank you. Especially with the players. He was an incredible man manager of the players. So once he could attract any player in the world, he could retain any player in the world. So in his absence, I think that Chelsea fans have struggled with their identity. People that joined the club started supporting the club because of their success. Gotten used to firing.
They don't know where to go with it anymore.
Firing, so they've never experienced what it means to be in a valley and giving a coach time, giving management time to navigate and come up. So that's the thing. So I hear a lot of them saying, "Fire, we know how we are. We don't suffer fools. You don't suffer fools." Abramovich doesn't suffer fools. It's not you. Abramovich is not there anymore. So yeah, that's what this new arrangement, they are trying to form their own identity. I think they should have come in with their own identity from day one. That's a mistake they made. They came trying to
do an
Abramovich. But you're not Abramovich. First of all, you don't have his limitless wealth. Secondly, you don't have You are not smart enough to surround yourself and surround your club with the right kind of people that will make the right kind of decisions.
And the
Right?
FFP too is stronger now.
And then FFP2 is stronger now. That's the point. So I think they need to really sit back, think about the whole setup, think about the kind of club that they want to be, think about the kind of culture they want to build, and then just forget about
So just
every
like
other
company,
thing.
what will be your expectation? What will you put? What will you think this guy is going to bring into Chelsea next season, and where can he take them to?
I think he will do well, but I think he will struggle defensively. They'll struggle defensively because I did not see any solid defensive structure from him at Leicester.
From Leicester.
Again, the mitigating factor was we probably didn't have the personnel. But even at Chelsea, he doesn't have the personnel at the moment.
I was going to mention that Chelsea struggled defensively too. These 5 games run that they did, if you remember, Thiago Silva was a huge part of it. It was because he was available and played those games, kind of, gave them that structure that you're talking about. So we need to see what's going to happen with that one. And there are so many other, Xavi left Barcelona as well. Who, on another podcast, we'll look at those ones. We'll see who. I hear Barcelona are about to appoint. If not, they've chosen Plink to come in. And I was
he was unveiled today.
Yeah, okay. So there's still going to be a few out there. Liverpool, of course, we saw it. Next season is going to be different faces in so many dressing rooms, and we'll see how that's going to pan. Thank you, my brother, for stopping by. Viewers, let us know what you think in the comment section about this Chelsea appointment, and of course, don't forget to hit the like button. Please support what we are doing. Support us. We need YouTube to get our content out there, and we need your likes to help us achieve that. And subscribe if you have not done so. Transit TV, we are here this summer. There's going to be a lot of activities. The South American Cup is going to be going on this summer. We will try to go to some of those games. We'll also come on the channel to talk about them. A few of the big games, the Euros as well is going to be up on. We will be talking on those games as well, and the clubs preseason games as well in July. The one that's going to be in the United States, we'll try to be there as well and bring you some live scenes from the stadium and the reaction from fans. And we'll also we're still working out a modality. I think we should be doing a 1 day, maybe 1 week, weekend wrap up for transfer rumors and done deals. I don't know.
I agree with you.
Maybe Friday or Saturday, we'll try and get that out there for our viewers. Guys, thank you for watching. Good to see you, bro. Thank you for stopping by. I know it's your bedtime. Go get your sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow, man.
All right.
Ciao.
Cheers. Yeah.